first thing to, you're on the agenda first, Mark.
Solemnly swear
That I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will not knowingly
and I will not knowingly
receive directly or indirectly
receive directly or indirectly
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
as a member of the Senior Citizens Advisory Board
as a member of the Senior Citizens Advisory Board
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Okay, I need you to sign
Okay.
right here.
All right.
And it looks like there's a couple seats available.
I remember us doing that, because I'm sitting there thinking, who would bribe us?
You can have a corner seat, it looks like on either end.
Okay, all right.
And
So just go back here and.
Or how you would get
walk
paid
around.
for non-performance.
Or did you hear what I said, like, who would bribe
all
us?
right, you can all welcome your new member.
No.
Good to be here.
Okay, so, I've called the meeting to order, so now the roll call.
Pam Bunce,
Here?
Teresa Hernshaw,
Here?
Judy Polson, absent.
Yes.
Margaret Sandelin,
Here.
Chairman Cunningham,
Here.
Amy Hazel,
Here,
Mark Swearinger.
Here.
I'm reading this consent items. Tell me who,
You'll need to vote and do a motion and a second for, if you guys agree on the minutes from last time.
oh, we haven't had the minutes.
They're back, they're back here.
Okay, she's done, she did.
there.
You don't have to read them.
Do I the last one we had was May the 4th, and it's back at the back.
Where's that?
Ms. Cunningham, it's the next page over. And one more. There you go. The minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Cunningham. We might need to spell the name wrong. Do I hear a motion to approve these minutes? Who makes a motion?
I move the minutes be approved.
I'll second.
Okay. So, everyone in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. So we're through with one, right?
Yes, ma'am?
Okay, what item, we didn't find anything that needed to be removed.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I guess we're ready for Dana.
Hello, I am Dana Trent, and I am the new coordinator out at the Ron Cross Senior Activity Center. I hit the ground running and haven't stopped yet. I've got a
Can I get
couple.
you guys to use the microphones, please?
Oh, Lord. They're trying to teach me how to talk in these. Okay. I've hit the ground running. I started the last week of June and we're going strong. I've got a couple reports in there for the month of July. We did a back to school bash. It was a community fundraiser. Basically, we never raised any funds, but we asked for donations of school supplies. And there's a picture in there that'll show you what all we ended up getting in. All the seniors brought things in, and other people in the community come by and donated as well. So it was wonderful, and we were able to give that to the Boys and Girls Club here in Durant to go out to the public schools. And then the exciting news is we have our bus. It's up and running, and I started driving it in July. And in July, we only did about 15 rides because, it was a couple of weeks into July before we got it up and running. But August, I did like 88 rides. So I've got about 6 that kind of ride here and there. I've got 3 that rides pretty steady with me. Bob Story's one of them. So if you want to come do a ride along, come on over and we'll put you on the lift and help you get in the bus. No, you could climb up the steps if you want. But we're just running strong. And we have more and more participants coming every day. We were on the news because we had our big prom, and most of our seniors had never been to a prom, and it was wonderful. They had such a good time, and I had a good time, and everybody in the building come together. We have 3 programs in the building. We have the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, we have the Southern Oklahoma Nutrition Program, and we have the Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative program in there. So we all come together and put it on as a building, and that's what we like to do. Got any questions for me? Come on out, have some fun with us. We have a good time.
How many people participated in the prom?
Oh my gosh, there were so many there. We actually sent out flyers to some of the homebound that we deliver out to with the SOMP program, and I think we probably had a good 10 of them show up, that their family members brought them in. And then out of the building themselves that come on a regular basis, there was probably, I think I set out about 50 chairs, and I know that they were all taken up and more people were pulling up chairs, but then there's your walkers and your wheelchairs and, things like that. So there was a lot, and Channel 12 was there. It was awesome. I have a couple of walls that I've hung up pictures. It's out on our Facebook, and we're going to continue to post pictures throughout next week on Facebook. So if you go on our Ron Cross Senior Activity Center, we post the menu every week. We post our weekly activities, and we're growing on activities as well. On Friday, emergency management's going to come over, and they're going to do a disaster preparedness for elderly adults and people with disabilities. And that's gonna be from like 12 until 1, because they like to eat and then they like to go home and nap. So we gotta catch them while they're, right after they eat, to keep them there. Is what we gotta do. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Do we, as advisory board members, do we receive like a monthly calendar of events, or are we notified via email of special events when
It-
they're going to occur? I did get your last email.
It is posted on our Ron Cross Senior Activity Facebook, so I keep that up to par. Yes. So if you join in on that, you'll be in the know of everything that's going on. Rebecca Carroll, she's our public information officer for the city. She does a wonderful job. And she's just up and booming and, got us going.
Okay.
But if you would like for me to email, just let me know and I will email you. Because I don't mind sending things out that way as well. Okay.
Yeah, especially something you feel strongly about us attending.
Okay.
A reminder would definitely help.
Yeah, we have like some other plans, we're gonna do like a pumpkin painting contest where they'll each get a pumpkin and, then we'll let people vote on the winners because they all wanna win something, And, and then we're gonna have a Halloween costume party probably, or a haunted hallway is what I would like to have, and let them come trick-or-treating around. I know they shouldn't have the sugar, but hey, sometimes they need to be spoiled. Okay?
I drove by the parking lot today, and the parking lot was full.
Oh, let me tell you, last week we had chicken stuffing. And I was literally in the road stopping traffic so I could get people out of the drive so more people could come in because it was crazy. We had about 60 in there today. I have capacity in the actual dining hall for 42. That's in wheelchairs, everything included. So we had an overflow in our library. There was 6 in there, and then we set up tables in our auditorium, which is the old sanctuary. So, yeah.
And I heard that the fire chief made you redo the way the tables were situated.
Yes, we had some round tables out there, and we got a lot of people on walkers, canes, a few wheelchairs, and more people that's coming. We notice that it's more in with the walkers and canes, and so they just could not shuffle around them round tables. So now we have square tables, and it's only a capacity for 49 in the dining hall. And that's your cooks, that's everybody, and that's us if we're sitting there trying to organize or help out. So we had to go down to 7 tables, 6 per table, and and then we got the overflow is how we're set it up. And to stop everybody just standing there in the hallway, all the people that's coming to go now, we're having them wait in the auditorium. So to prevent that overflow so hard in there. Because they just hover around the cooks, waiting for their tray or whatever. But we are growing. I mean, we got new people coming in every day, probably about 5 to 10 people a week signing up now. I don't know what the capacity is when they say, no, we can't feed anymore, but we'll see.
One time we talked about the possibility of our helping with those trays.
Yeah? Come on out. You could
So
help
do they
with
get in
whatever.
line, or do you just take the tray to them, or what do you do?
May I address that?
Yes, ma'am.
Since I'm somebody who does dine there occasionally. What they will do is a couple of the people volunteer, and they
Yes.
will serve you. They will bring them to the tables. So, and they take turns doing it, and, they take turns saying a prayer, have an introduction, saying a prayer. They may sing, make announcements, and then again, 2 or 3 people will serve the meal. And because of encouragement in the past, I try to go and have a meal there at least 2 or 3 times a month.
Yes. I see you quite a bit, so yeah.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question, is if you recommended that we as advisory members
I think we
go out there
should.
occasionally.
But you
And
have
then
to
do
fill
you
out
still, call
paperwork.
in the day before to let them know? Is that
Yes,
still how it
yes.
works?
But you
Mhm.
have to fill out the paperwork
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
before you can even call.
Yes.
Is that available on the website?
You'll need to get hold of Celesta with the Southern Oklahoma Nutrition Program, but I could send you the information and have, or give her either way. I'll send it to you and you could call her.
Okay.
But I encourage you guys to come out because people want to talk to you. And they want to know that you're present because SOMP, they have an advisory board and they're very boisterous. So we need to be heard as well. Because, I mean, ultimately, we're about the building and what's going on in the building and we're concerned about everything. Yeah. Okay? But I'd love for all you to come out. She comes out and exercises a lot.
That's what I was going to add is, my husband and I both do the SAIL classes, Stay Active and Independent for Life.
Mhm.
And they have coffee and they have some kind of a snack there, so, starting about 9 o'clock, and then the exercise classes are Monday and Wednesday at 9:30. And I do see people there on a regular basis, and some of them know that I'm on this board, so that
Mhm.
I'm a presence there, I think.
Yes, and they're aware of that. And then, of course, our birthday lady. They love the birthday parties and everything.
That's not the one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You must mean Judy Carson.
Yes, Judy. They definitely have to have the birthdays for the month. But yeah, come on out and see what we're doing. And when we have special events, come and join. Come help decorate. Just come and be part of it. They love for people to come and talk to them because that is their only socialization the whole day. And you know, with me driving the bus, that was one of the big things because if I don't go pick them up, they don't get to come and talk to anybody that day. So, anything else? Well, thank you.
Have anything to say? Are you up next, sir?
I'm up next.
Good.
Good evening, everybody. The last time I was here, I was the interim public safety director. Little did I know I was going to be here at your next meeting as the interim city manager. But I want to thank our manager out there for the great job she does. Our center is growing. You can see it when you, like somebody commented, you drive by and the parking lot's full. And y'all are an important tool to that center. You play a very important role. And I know when this board was created, it was preferred that this board would meet here at the council chamber, so you got all the cameras and stuff. And that's not required. I mean, there are some stuff we are required to do, but I wanted to kind of poll the board because it's important. You are part of the center. You help in the operation of that center. And the two meetings I've been to, it's been me sitting out here in the audience. So I wanted feedback from this board if it would consider starting to have the meetings out at the center. Instead of, and of course, how many of you had a good time finding a parking lot here or a parking spot at City Hall? That's always fun when it's 105 degrees outside, but if the board is working on the center, why not have the meetings at the center where the citizens that use that center can meet their board and pull the two together? So if that is kind of the feelings of the board, our next meeting will be at the Ron Cross Center. Is everybody in agreement with that? I know the vote's supposed to go this way, but so.
So I'll make a motion. Can I make a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
That we start meeting at the center. That's something we really wanted to do.
I think it's a logical thing to do. I mean, have it where what you're doing. Does that make sense? So,
I've been on the People First Industries board for 30 years, and all of our board meetings have always been at the facility.
yep, it'd all be in the heart of the center.
Yep.
And that would help the city also because you can see all the staff we have involved. There's almost as many staff members as there is board members. So I would say move it out there. We can do an agenda. We can still do minutes and post them so we're legal. And I think it would be a great asset.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
We call the vote, we call it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Pam Bunce,
Yes.
Teresa Hernshaw.
Yes?
Margaret Sandlin,
Yes.
Chairman Cunningham,
Yes.
Amy Hazel,
Yes.
Mark Swearingen,
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, our next thing on the agenda is to talk about, holding a proper open house for the center. And, some of us were very disappointed with our first open house. It was not organized, it was utter chaos. And, it just got out of hand before we realized that there were a lot of people there. But I think that people really needed to have some kind of a program and introduce Tammy Cross, who it's named after her husband, and she gave a very large donation for our buying building. And she had her family there, and she had to look for me in the crowd to introduce me to them. And I just feel like we need to do something that was really meaningful. And we had talked to Rick, and he suggested that we do a plaque from, her, and we can, talk about that later. But just to have a proper open house, that what my idea was, I thought was going to happen, that didn't, is when people came in, the auditorium would be set up, and people would go in and sit down, and then we would have a program of some type. And I really think maybe, without going into any detail, our last city manager had a lot to do with what's happening right now. And I think we should invite him. He works across the street, and I think he's been interested. They tell me that sometime have you seen him over there?
I haven't seen him.
Well, he's been there and talked to Sheila, and he's happy that everything's going well and all that. But you will remember that we got the money to buy the building, and then many of you were on the board when we sat in a room and said, now what are we going to do? We need a $250,000 kitchen. We don't have the money. Are we just going to sit here in this building? It was kind of up in the air of what was going to happen. And then he called me about 2 months later and said that he had found the money. And I won't go into how, but there's a lot of, when you have a contract with any group in the city, there's addendums at the bottom and things like that. And so he had found the money for us to totally remodel that building, and I will tell you that we spent about $1 million buying and remodeling that building. So I just think it would be nice to just have him be a part of it and say that, he did help, since he's still in town. Does everybody agree with that? You want to take a vote?
I don't know if that's anything you need to vote on, is it?
I don't
We
know.
just invite him.
Yeah, I would just invite
Just
him.
invite him. And, I guess someone needs to make a motion that we have a proper open house.
May I make a comment before we get to a vote?
Yes.
Because this is so much later than the initial opening, is there a chance we could find out when Mr. Cross's birthday was and try to coordinate it
I've
back
already-
to there?
Yeah, I tried. I think it's either really close to Christmas or something like that. It wasn't a good date. And then I
Okay.
thought about their anniversary, and that was the same problem.
Okay.
So, maybe we could do something like that, but,
And can I say something?
I think it's a wonderful idea that we do this. I just don't really know all the history, so you all will have to come to the table so we could put together like a PowerPoint or something, and we'll work with our public information officer, because to make it, put it together properly. We need to present, and we need to be, you know, very bold about what we know, and, you know, educate people, because people don't know. Gay, you know, some of you guys know, but I don't know. And I mean, I didn't even know why the building was named that until recently. So I think it's great that we just educate people about it. Okay? But I'm going to have depend on all you guys to bring the information to us so that we could get it set up.
And see, I think a lot of people don't know that when we were getting donations for the building, I kept a record of everything. When I deposited money in the bank, I got 3 deposit slips. One for me, one for the bank, and one for the person giving, because I wanted to have a total record of that, and if we didn't get the money, which I guess the Lord was willing for us to, I could give it back to the people if it didn't work out. But, there's a lot of history in that place, and where we got the money to begin with, and the idea, and Mark has been with me for 13 years. We worked on it.
And all the board members, from King's Daughters and Sons, they've just almost been forgotten in the mix, and that's where the whole idea started.
Yeah, we sold that. It was a nonprofit, and I was chairman of the board of that, and we sold it, and that's what we decided we wanted to do with our money. It took 13 years to do it. but-
Sure never dreamed it'd take 13 years,
I know.
but, yeah, we had to hire an attorney to draw up the paperwork where we could legally, move the money over to even be donated, and, geez, Gay, I think back to those trips we took visiting other senior citizen centers in North Texas.
In
Just so many
Oklahoma.
steps, so many locations, we thought we had identified where we were gonna go, and for one reason or another, it would end up being shot down. But
Mhm.
finally, due to your persistence or stubbornness, whichever we wanna call it, I kinda like stubbornness
Yeah.
myself. You
You'll
just were
never
not gonna
know.
let go.
You never know how many people say, "Guy, just give it up, and I said, I can't.
Yeah.
Because I saw my mother in that nursing home for 4.5 years, was around those people, and I know how much they need social contact, and then I knew where they were meeting. You put those two together, and there wasn't any giving up for me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
When was it originally? When was it officially opened, of the first time? What was the date?
July, or was it June or July? Wasn't it something like June the 13th?
I was thinking it was
Something,
the anniversary
something,
party,
something
something
weird.
like that.
And honor the family at that point, and the others that really weren't recognized.
okay. We'll check the date. That's a good idea. I think we should say at this point, see if everyone's in favor of having it. Is that a motion? Having that take place, and then having us with her plan the details. Everyone? Is
Yeah,
that?
I'm just thinking, if we could put together a PowerPoint, kinda like what you showed the city when you made your presentation, that'd be perfect.
Yes.
Do you remember who you worked with on that? I don't remember who put that together. Was it somebody associated with the city?
No,
Okay. Would that person be available to help, do you think?
probably.
Okay.
They're still alive, and so am I. I really thought I'd die before I saw it, but I'm still here. I'm happy for that. But anyway, is that a motion?
Yes, ma'am, did you make that first motion?
Yes, that we do this open house, and that we all work together and get a program put together that would be nice.
But in that motion, do we have to call it a second open house?
No.
Or would we be free to title it as we feel it
Yeah,
would be
I think so.
proper to title it?
Mhm. Because they need to see the success of it, so we can go that route.
I'll second.
We'll call it.
Pam Butts,
Yes.
Teresa Hernscher,
Yes,
Margaret Sandlin,
Yes.
Chairman Cunningham,
Yes.
Amy Hazel,
Yes.
Mark Swearingen,
Yes.
Is that it? No, what new business? What is it? I don't know what it's involved. Yeah, does anyone have any new business?
How often do we meet?
We have a calendar set up. I
Okay.
think it's every other month. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just need to get on the website, check that out, don't I? Or the Facebook site, whichever one.
Well, I believe Tammy's the one who sends out notification to us at least a week in advance.
Okay.
I'll send you a schedule. I have one.
Yes, as of today, this is my last, so it will be either Cindy or Dana sending out the emails.
May we ask that you have something good going on, and that's.
I'm retired.
Oh, that's
Ah,
good.
well.
I got grandkids, my husband is on duty, and I plan on going and visiting them. Yep,
Well, good for you.
do some
Yeah.
traveling. I retired once, my daughter told me the other day, Mom, I give you a year and a half, you'll be back at work. No, this time. So,
So is there any new business?
Anything you all wanna tell me, being the new person on board?
Well,
Go out there and see them. I mean,
I will certainly do
there
that.
are people, it makes a difference. They're looking for somebody to come and say hi, and you show up about 9 o'clock, you can have coffee, and they make great cookies, so.
Okay.
also, if you guys have anything that any of you guys want on the agenda, make sure you let Dana know so she can put it on the agenda. And if you have anything, attachments or anything that needs to go on there, send them to her as well, so she can get to the IT. And, as long as we know, we like to know 48 hours, if you guys are gonna be doing it out there, it's gonna be different, but 48 hours, you have to have notice in before, so we can have it posted. And they'll post it out there. I believe they could still post it out here too, so make sure everybody knows about it.
What's
If you
your,
have anything put on the
sorry.
agenda, make sure you let Dana or Cindy know.
what's your email address?
D Trent, TRENT, @durant.org.
And will we be filmed there also?
No, ma'am, but if you want to, if you wanna have a live stream, you can do live stream. And Dana can get with, Rebecca, our PLI, and she can probably have something set up. Or we could have IT do it, but I think it would be a cost to that to go over there. I don't know how that would work. I would get with Dana and then let her figure out the,
For what, live streaming?
yeah, the live streaming.
Yeah, I don't really think that we need to live stream. I mean, if people wanna know what's going on, they
That's
can
what I
read it,
wondered.
you know.
We had to have it.
No.
You don't have to have.
It'll be more personal when it comes to the building, because we could just sit down and we could visit and, you know, we'll have an agenda, but there'll be other people there that attend. And, you know, they could, maybe they have some new business, or maybe they have some questions that they want to be answered. So we just want to take this and bring you guys all where I'm at, and all of us together, so we could work out solutions and be able to be closer about it.
So there's no new business that anybody wants to talk about? Okay, motion to adjourn. Somebody make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Pam Bunce,
Yes.
Teresa Hernscher,
Yes.
Margaret Sandlin,
Here.
Chairman Cunningham,
Here.
Amy Hazel,
Yes.
Mark Swearingen.
Yes.